on. So a few of you have been asking me to review these Reviving Origin capsules from Nespresso. And I can see why you wanted the video done quickly, because they are a limited edition capsule. Well, they're sort of limited edition. They're not permanent on the website. They're going to be gone soon. And the reason for that is that they're working at the moment with farmers to revive, and that's the key is in the name, Reviving Origins, to revive farms and regions where political problems, social problems, climate problems have caused production to either drop down significantly or cease. And then they're trying to revive those areas back again by giving them the technology they need, the expertise they need, and just the help they need with paying them a bit extra as well for the coffee to be able to make it sustainable again for them to produce coffee again. So that's what the Reviving Origins name's all about. What we're going to do, we're going to look at the Zimbabwe ones, the Colombia ones, and also the Uganda ones. We're going to try them as an espresso and lungo, and also try some of them with milk as well to see if they keep their flavour, keep their intensity. So we'll start with, I just thought the first programme to enter, or the first region to enter into the programme was the Zimbabwe region. It says inside it's the Honda Valley, it's called. And as you can see, they've changed the box slightly, haven't they? These capsules open up like that from the centre rather from the edge. It's quite, it's interesting, it's different, but do watch out if you buy them, because if you forget about that and you pick them up, you can end up dropping them on the floor. We nearly did that, fortunately we saved it. So do watch out for that if you get them. But what we're looking out for in these Zimbabwe ones, I've actually put a capsule in. These are the capsules. So you can see they're quite a blingy, quite a nice looking thing. I'll show you the Vertuo one. I've actually put them in preparation this time though. Pricing wise, the original ones are 55 pence and the Vertuo ones are 60 pence. I think the price difference might be to either do with the fact that there's no compatible capsules for the Vertuo, or it could be that simply the amount of coffee, and maybe there's a bit more coffee in this pod to be able to get the taste. But we're looking for, let's get it pouring now. So espresso, we're looking for red berry flavours in this one. Really, what's it listed as? Let's have a look. It's got a roastiness of 2 out of 5 on the Nespresso website, a bitterness of 2 out of 5, acidity 4 out of 5, so that zingy kind of fruity flavours. In this one it's red berry flavours, and a body of 3 out of 5, so it shouldn't be too watery either. And then the intensity on this one is 5 out of 13. So the reason I pour it into cappuccino cups is just because I don't want to waste all my capsules, they're not cheap. But I want to try them with milk after, so that's why I've done that. So let's try the original one now. See, I like that one. I have tried them already this week, but I like the Zimbabwe one. I find it has got that tang to it, like a nice, predominantly I'm getting sort of cranberry sort of flavours coming through, but that, it says it should have cranberry in it, but it also says other red berries as well. I'll just try the Vertuo one, see if it's any different. See, I'll just try this one again. I don't really get the same. It is a similar flavour, but it's a little bit more of a duller flavour on that one. It doesn't have that same tang as the original one does. But let's just, but I do like it, this one. I'll try it with a little bit of milk. I'm just going to use this today rather than the Arancino, so I'm hoping it'll be a little bit quicker. A bit of hot foamed milk. I'll just hold it down to the desired level and then we'll try that. See what it looks like. A little bit of milk dripped down there. I think that's enough for now, just to try it and see if it keeps its flavour in the milk. I've learnt my lesson with this machine, the Latissima, to let it drip down a little bit first. If it does make a little bit of a mess, I'm sorry, but we'll be here all day otherwise, waiting for it to drip down all the time. Let's have a little taste though. Yeah, so you can still taste the tang coming through a little bit, But it's not as intense now, which I suppose you would expect from an intensity 5, that it will lose its intensity a little bit. I'll just try it with the Vertuo. Again, just a little bit of hot foamed milk. Hopefully if I press it again, it will just keep what I set it to before. I thought you might be interested in just watching the machines in action as well, if you've been thinking about getting that deal that I told you about, the granular system. This was half price, we unboxed it recently, and we also told you the details of the deal in a recent video. So I thought this might be a good video for you to see it in action as well, the machine, see if you like it. Let's just try this one. So yeah, the flavour difference is it's less pronounced when you've got it with milk, because obviously it's losing its flavour anyway. I've got to say, personally, there's a lot less difference if you're having it with milk. But as an espresso, I definitely felt that the Zimbabwe original capsule was better, and I do like it. So what we'll do now, we'll move on to the Colombia one. We'll try that in the same way, and then we'll also, well, I'll explain that when we get to it, because they're a little bit different, those, because the ones we're moving on to now, the Colombia and the Uganda, for some reason they're able to be poured as a lungo and as an espresso, which seems a bit funny to me, because you'd think that they say that a different kind of grade of coffee or a different kind of blend of coffee needs to be used in the lungo capsules, whereas with these ones, the Colombia ones, I'll show you now, we'll go and get them, they can be brewed both ways. So let's try that out. Yeah, so we're now moving on to the Colombia capsule. This is a funny one again as well, because it's listed as an intensity 5 for the original capsule, but as an intensity 3 for the Colombia capsule. Now the reason for that is probably going to be because this is a mug-sized coffee for the Vertuo machine, sorry, the Vertuo, and it's either an espresso or a lungo for this. So what I wanted to do quickly, I just wanted to try it as an espresso, because yesterday I had the previous version of the Colombia capsule, and I had it as an espresso, and I've really been getting into my espressos recently. I used to just drink milk-based drinks, and because of that, like I've always said on this channel, I'm like intensity, I like really intense coffees. But actually, since I've been doing these videos and trying to pick out the flavours more, I am getting more into my espressos as well, and I found it a really nice balanced coffee, but with a lot of, you know, it had that bit of acidity coming through, those nice flavours. So I'll just get it pouring as an espresso, and then we'll do it as a comparison with the Vertuo as a lungo, because I think that's a bit more fair, given that it's a mug-sized coffee. So with this one, it's 3 out of 5 on all of them. The ranges, so roastiness, bitterness, acidity body is 3 out of 5. Intensity for the original capsule is 5. And we're looking for this one for like yellow fruits, and it says a cereal note to come through. So I'll just try it. It's the only thing with this Latissima machine, I find it a bit difficult to get at. Especially for the videos, because I'm trying to stay out of the camera. So yeah, again, it's just the Colombia capsule as an espresso. It's just really nicely balanced, I find, really well-rounded, and I'm only using these terms, I'm learning these terms at the minute. I'll probably never master them, but I'm just trying to explain it to you. It's creamy, it's sort of in the middle of everything, and I like that. It's nicely and well-balanced. But we'll try it as a lungo, and then it keeps dripping down that's a bit annoying about the machine, that's one little thing, but thought I'd best mention that. But I'll try it as a lungo, we'll try it as the mug size for the Vertuo, and I'll put a little bit of milk in each, and we'll see what that tastes like. Right, so we'll just pour a lungo now with the Colombia. Just before we do, I'll mention about the dripping of the milk, sorry. I hadn't actually done the clean cycle, and I've just got the machine. I have to remember to switch it to clean between each use, so possibly that's why it was doing that. My fault. Don't want to give a false impression about the machine. So I'll pop the other capsule in. Actually, we'll start with the Vertuo because it's going to take a lot longer to brew. Remember, this is a mug size with the Vertuo, so it's not going to be exactly the same as the original, but I thought it was fairer to test it as a lungo. I was very impressed with that Zimbabwe capsule. It had a really nice sharpness on the tongue, and I like that. And I did get the berry flavours coming through. I was giving it that sharpness. These are the Vertuo mug set, by the way. We actually reviewed those on the channel the other day, and they came with these little spoons, nice little set of spoons as well. We got two in a pack. They were £24, but I got a discount, 20% off because of the expert membership and stuff like that with Nespresso. So that made them a lot cheaper. You know, it was under £20 then, wasn't it? Just to reiterate as well, this is only supposed to be intensity 3 with the Vertuo, and I'll also just set the lungo going now for the other machine, the original. And these are the View espresso cups. We've done a review of those on our blog, on the channel as well. Then we'll just taste these side by side and see if they taste any different, which one tastes better, if any. My wife told me off, by the way, for the Zimbabwe ones for not using the coasters we put out, the sauces, sorry. So I'll try and remember to put it on those. Just have a little taste of this. Still well rounded, but it has gone a little more bitter. But I suppose that's what you'd expect really with it being a lungo, because the bitter flavours tend to come out the longer it's brewing, don't they? And let's try it as an espresso, a mug size, the Vertuo. Trying to do it without burning my tongue. Get quite hot, don't they? You don't get the same flavours. I'll just try the other one again. It's to be expected though, really. It's intensity 3. Now, to me, I'm just being honest, I prefer it as a lungo, the original. It tastes a little bit washed out, maybe, as a mug-sized coffee, that. I'll put a little bit of milk into this. I'll just do the hot milk setting rather than the froth milk setting. See what it tastes like. I'm not sure if you should put lungo milk into a lungo. I've tried it before and it didn't taste great. Say with the mug size ones, the Vertuo ones, it's supposed to be, they've been designed, those machines, to just have a splash of milk in them, haven't they? So I'll just try it with a splash of milk in. It's got that bitter edge to it, but possibly if you, I've done it again, my wife's telling me use the saucer. If you like lungos, and I'm guessing you're used to those, a bit of a bitter edge on them, because I think that's what they're supposed to be, a little bit more bitter. It's a nice sipping coffee. I like that. Let's just bring this mug size one, pop it here, and we'll just use the hot milk setting again. Trying to be as quick as I can for you. That's my fault, I pressed it twice. I'll hold it down, it's easier. It looks cool. I've never done that before with these mugs yet. I've not put milk in them yet. That looks quite smart, doesn't it? But let's give it a taste, see what it tastes like versus the original. I'll just taste it against this. You just get more flavour from that. To me, it just tastes a little bit washed out in the mug size one. But it is a very low intensity, so it might work for you. You know, if you're into your mug size coffees, if you've got a Vertuo machine, Obviously, if you've not got an original machine, it's not an option for you, is it? But if you like a very low intensity, just sipping coffee, it is nice. But I did like it as an espresso, very nice, very well rounded. I prefer the original again. But we'll move on now to the Ugandan one. I don't think there's any. Oh, that's what I was going to say. It was a lot to fit into one video, but if you want me to compare it to the old Colombia on both machines, then I'm quite happy to do that in a separate video, but it was a lot to fit in. I didn't want to bore people who didn't want that comparison, so we could do that in another video if you want it. We'll move on to Uganda and see what we get with that. So finally, we come to the Ugandan ones. Now these are very, very different. I have had them already this week. They're very different to what I've tried. It's described as wild and floral, and on the original capsules, it can be brewed as both a lungo or an espresso, and it's listed as intensity 8 out of 10. But when you move over to the Vertuo capsules, it's listed as a Grand Lungo 150, and again it drags that intensity down a bit, so it's at 6 out of 11. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try them. Like I said, wild and floral. I'll give you a bit of information while the machine's not running, just so you can hear it properly. We're getting darker roasted now, a bit more bitter, but with that, we're getting extra body as well. So we're getting a roastiness of 4 out of 5, bitterness of 4 out of 5, and we're getting an acidity of 2 out of 5, and a body of 4 out of 5. 55 pence, like I said, and these are a Grand Lungo, so they're 75 pence for the Vertuo. But what I'm not sure about is, did I mention that it was, I think they're £1 a capsule when it's Colombia. So let's just try its light a little bit better. I think it's £1 a capsule when it's Colombia for the Vertuo machine, because it's a mug-sized coffee. So I'll pour it as an espresso now, and we'll see what it tastes like. I said it was very, very different, this one. I'm interested to try it another time, a second time. That's why I opened these ones up, because I just wanted to try them first. Just let that drip off a little bit. You can see already, look, it's got a much darker roast. But I'll just pull that off. It's a bit awkward to get at it without coming onto the camera, but I'll pull it off. I'll give it a try. I think the difference, apparently this sandalwood note that comes with this one is quite rare to find in coffee. Apparently they're still quite difficult to get hold of, these sandalwood notes. What was the other one it said to have as well? It said sandalwood, and it also said, that's it, like a floral, elegant floral notes. And it is very rich, it's very different though. As an espresso, it's got that, but it says it's supposed to be bitter, isn't it? So it has got that bitterness and those, but it is very different to anything that I've sort of tried before. And it's going to be one of those where you either like it, a bit like Marmite, I think, you either like it or you don't. I'm in the middle on it. I probably like it a little bit more than the first time I tried it. But it's still not blowing me away. But it might do for you if you like those earthy, floral, woody flavours. I'm getting used to using this language, but yeah, I think it is nice. Maybe give it a try if you like that sort of thing. I'll try it as a lungo now, and I'll set it up to, well, I can do that on camera. Just pop. And then we'll try it with milk in afterwards as well. I'll just get the capsules. So set the Vertuo one going first. I'm hoping it'll fit in this glass. I'm a bit worried about that, but I'm sure I've done one already and it did fit in. And someone told me to raise the shelf in the past, so let's do that as well. Maybe create a bit less foam. Hopefully that'll set off now, and I'll get the capsule. If you want to look at the capsules, it's just the same design really. And this is what it says inside about Uganda. Best press this Vertuo button again because it hasn't started. And I'll make this one as a lungo as well. I'm still confused though about the fact it's espresso and lungo, because I thought Nespresso, the reason you can't use an espresso as a lungo usually is because the coffee's not quite right in it to be able to maintain the intensity. So I'm surprised they've done that, but maybe they've found a way to do it. So this is the original capsule we're looking at now. That's a 110ml lungo, 55 pence a pod. And now we'll move over. This is the Vertuo. It's 150ml Grand Lungo, 75 pence a pod, I think it was. Let's give this one a try. It's a bit risky, that one over there, isn't it? Please stop. My wife told me not to do this. And she was right. I'm going to take that away and I'll clean the drip tray after. She told me not to do it. I should have listened. Next time I'll use the mug. But I'm going to give it a try and I'll clean up after. Right, so that's a bit difficult to drink without spilling it. Yeah, what it is on this one, it's maintained that bitterness on, well, I just find the original ones nicer. I find that one just tastes a little bit more washed out again. That's the only term I can think of to describe it. It doesn't quite have the flavours that it should have, and you can tell really when you taste the espresso what flavours it's supposed to have, and it seems to maintain them more in the original than it does in the Vertuo. And I wish I'd used a different cup. But I hope that's been useful. What's Reviving Origins? Getting the farmers a bit more money, reviving the areas that have been lost due to climate change, social, economic problems, political problems, getting those farms back up and running again, getting the production going. The production's small at the moment, so don't forget, if you want the capsules, grab them quick before they go, because they're not going to be there forever. And once they're gone, I'm guessing that's it, there's no more coming back, once they're out of stock. But there should be more coming along, different countries over the next few months throughout the year, and hopefully we'll see some more of this again next year when the farms have grown the coffee again and produced it again. If you want to check, by the way, that they're paying the farmers what they're saying they are, they're using blockchain technology so you can track the coffee from the farm to the Nespresso Switzerland factories, and you can track it using blockchain, so it's like a ledger. But yeah, I like them. If I were to rank them, I would say, for me personally, the Zimbabwe, even though it shouldn't be up my street because it was less intense, I am starting to like espresso more, and I did find that had a nice zing on the tongue, nice berry flavours coming through, very interesting. I like that. The Colombia, I enjoyed it. It's well-rounded. I might try it against the old one myself because I really liked the old one when I tried it yesterday. And this one didn't excite me as much as yesterday's, but maybe when I try them side by side, I'll change my mind. So I probably put that one in second. The Ugandan was just a bit of a funny one. It does have some interesting flavours. If you want to try something different, and especially for the Vertuo, what I will say is my wife said last night, and my son as well, that they quite liked this capsule, but they were a bit, not as much about it this morning. They were a bit changeable on it. But what she did say specifically is for a Vertuo coffee, like a lot of them can end up tasting the same. Now, I don't know if you find that, but that's what she found. And she said this one actually is something different. And if you want to try something different, maybe give that a go. But I hope you found that useful. Please like the video if you have. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Check out our unboxings, our reviews. We've got lots of content now for you to look at. If you do subscribe to the channel, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I'm not going to put milk in this one because there's no chance I'm going to get milk in that. But if you're desperate for me to do it, I'll do another video. But thanks for watching. Bye for now.